Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another video. So, I have been working from home for, oh gosh, almost a year now, and I'm sure a lot of you have too, and it is something. I am very much a self-proclaimed introvert, and I always thought working from home would be perfect for me because I love being home. I don't like going places. I don't like interacting with people. But after actually working from home now for a while, it's not exactly what I thought it was. And so I decided I want to make this video for anyone who maybe hasn't worked from home before and is thinking about it, kind of what some of the pros and cons are of working from home and also working in person, and kind of compare the two for you, because I don't know, until you have seen both sides of the spectrum, you don't really know. And so that's what I'm here to do for you today. If you are new to my channel, hi, my name is Jenny. I am a fashion and lifestyle and business YouTuber, and I make a lot of really fun content, so you should subscribe. And if you do like this video, be sure to give it a like, and let's get into the pros and cons of working in person versus working from home. So I want to start out by speaking about working in person. So at a physical location, you know what in person means. It's been almost a year now since I've worked in person. So that was the last time I've worked with other people in a physical location. And so the first one, top of my list, is working with coworkers. Now, this had never crossed my mind before I had worked from home, but most of your adult friendships, when you're out of school, out of college, whatever it is, most of your friendships come from the workplace. I mean, if you think about it, that's where you spend a majority of your time. Like, the time that you're not at home, you're usually at work. And that was how I made all of my new friends when I moved to New York. As much as we would like to think like, oh, I'll go join a group and I'll join a book club and meet a bunch of friends there, or I'll go take this exercise class and meet a bunch of friends there. You absolutely can, but the reality is most of your friendships come from the workplace. And now, that's not to say you're gonna be friends with all of your coworkers, obviously. Different people, different personalities, but it's the immediate group that you're exposed to, and you're spending so much of your time with them day in and day out, and you tend to become really close. And so that is one of the pros of working in person. The people you're exposed to, your coworkers that you get to work with, that you get to establish relationships and friendships with, it is something so beautiful and something I really, really miss about working in person. Another pro is having a reason to get ready in the morning. Now, this can be argued. You can argue that, oh, you can get ready for any reason, whatever, and yeah, you can, but come on. Are any of us getting ready every day when we don't have to? I know I'm not, and I should have prefaced this whole video with, these are all just my opinions. Obviously, it's my channel, my opinions, whatever. But I can tell you, this is the first time I've gotten ready in weeks, probably, since my last YouTube video where I got ready. Yeah, it's just, it sounds good in theory to wake up and put on a full face of makeup and get dressed and go through that whole thing every day when you don't have a reason to, but none of us are doing that. And with an in-person job, it gives you a reason to do that. And yeah, sometimes you might not want to, and you definitely don't have to, but most days, for me anyway, I know I would get up several hours before my shift started, put on some makeup, put on a great outfit that I felt good in, that made me feel pretty and confident and head out the door, do my thing, get my money, you know? So that is something I miss from working in person, is having a reason to get ready every day and change out of my sweatpants. Pro number 3 of working in person. This one really would have never crossed my mind had I not started working from home, but there are no blurred lines between what is work time and what is personal time. When you leave your house in the morning, you're in work mode. And all day, when you're at work, you're in work mode. And the second you leave, you're in personal time again. You can leave work in the building. You do not have to take it with you. You don't have to think about it in most cases, of course. And that is a pro, because the effect that has, that you may not even realize that has on your mental well-being, is through the roof. Like, it is so important to have a hard boundary between the two, because you can start to go crazy if you don't. The last pro I want to list here is getting out of the house. This could absolutely just be for me, since again, I am such an introverted person. It's hard for me to want to leave the house. Having a reason to leave your house, to just get outside, get some fresh air, is more important than you may think. And having an in-person job makes it easy. I mean, you have to go to work anyway, and even if it's just walking from your apartment to the subway station to your job and then doing it again on your way back, you're at least getting out of the house. You're at least getting that fresh air, getting time outside, getting time away from your bedroom, your apartment, like, yeah, just removing yourself. We all know how good it is to get out of the house every once in a while, but it can absolutely be hard. 1, when you're in a pandemic. 2, when you are introverted and don't have any reason to go outside. It can be difficult. So another pro about working an in-person job. Cons about working in person. Now, I really could only think of one. I have a second one on here. It's pretty common sense, but the number one con I have with working in person is the extra time you have to factor into your day for commuting. To give you a personal example, when I was working my in-person job, there were mornings where I would be opening the store, and we would open at, I believe it was 7:45. So I had to be there at 7 a.m., which means I had to actually be there at like 6:45 a.m. so I could clock in on time. It was an hour train ride to the store, so I had to leave about 5:45, 5:30 in the morning. Before that, I obviously had to get ready, put on my clothes, so I was waking up at like 4 a.m. on those mornings to be to the store on time and get the day going. And if you factor that, or if you count that up, that's an additional like 3 hours in the morning, and then, you know, another hour or 2 at night after you're done with work, getting home, showering, doing all of that. So that's a lot of time to be scheduling in to your already packed schedule. Like, a work day is 8 to 9 hours or so, depending on, you know, lunch breaks, things like that. And at the end of the day, like, you get home, you go to bed, you wake up, you do it all over again. So commuting is, I feel like, a con of working an in-person job. That's about the only one I could find, though. The other one that's a more obvious one is it puts you at risk of catching the virus, which hopefully that goes away soon with vaccines coming out. But at the moment, yes, that is also a big con, is putting yourself at a greater risk for contracting it. So that's all I'm going to say about in-person jobs. Let's move on to working from home. So the first pro that I have about working from home is the easier job responsibilities. This again is going to be more personal to me because I work and have always worked in customer-facing industries. So for me, it's so much easier to deal with angry customers and people that have issues and whatever when you're not face to face with them, having to take that heat. Now, I will say people are more ballsy online and through the phone than they are to your face, so the heat is a bit more, but also like, you can yell at me all day through the phone. I can take it. If that's what you need to do, go for it. So the job responsibilities, I would say, are a bit easier. Another pro, there is more you time. So this goes back to the whole commuting thing from the in-person job. Since you're literally just walking from your bed to your desk or to your living room or wherever your work from home station is, you don't have to pencil in 5 additional hours a day for commuting. You know, your time starts, you can wake up 5 minutes before you clock in, and then your day is done, you are free at that time, and you're already home. You don't have to worry about getting home or anything like that. So there's definitely more you time. That's another pro. Pro number 3, you get to wear comfy clothes. Now, maybe this is just me, but I know with my job, they don't really care what you wear because you're not on camera with your customers. The only time you're ever in a Zoom call is when you have a meeting with other team members or management or whatever it is. And yeah, you should look put together, but you can have on pajama pants, you can have on, you know, you can wear your comfy clothes. And so that is nice. I will say it's nice. I don't need to do as much laundry or dry cleaning, obviously. But, you know, that can start to also turn into a con at some point if you, I don't know, because we all know that we feel somewhat sloppy and sluggish and not really our best self when we're in comfy clothes all day, every day. Personally, that's how I feel. Maybe you can kill it in a pair of sweatpants. And if you can, that's incredible. Keep doing that. Keep working from home. Keep living your comfy life. I love that for you. But anyway, yeah, I would consider comfy clothes a pro for sure. Last pro I have is extra time with family. Just going back to the more you time, the more free time, whatever. You have that to spend with your family. If you live with your family, you get to be around them. And I know that can also be hard at times, but in the grand scheme of things, you're definitely going to be thankful for the extra time that you get to spend with them, especially if we ever go back to, you know, like a 9-hour workday, 12 hours with all the commuting and whatever, where we don't get to see them very often. It definitely is a blessing to be around the ones you love for more amounts of time. So that's a pro in my book. Let's move on to the cons of working from home. Now, this is honestly the whole reason I thought of this video. I thought to do this video was because I was finding myself really struggling at about the 4-month mark of working from home. It was great and fun and exciting and new those first couple months, and then it really started weighing on me, really started to become taxing. And so I listed all of these out more so to remind myself of all the pros of both sides of the spectrum, but here are my cons. The first one, we kind of mentioned this, it's the flip side of something we mentioned earlier. When you're working from home, all of the lines start to blur. There's no real off button. There is, but you know, for me personally, I can see all my work equipment right over here, just off camera. It's always on my mind. Like, I work in my same living space, those energies kind of start to blur together, and you know, there's that blurred line, and that can start to become pretty overwhelming after a while. Another con I have found with working from home is you can start to go a little bit stir crazy. Again, tied together with all of the other events of this country at the moment. We're locked inside, having to stay inside, working from the same location in your living quarters. It starts to you start to feel boxed in, you start to feel trapped a little bit. Be fiending for something to do outside or have some reason to go outside that just doesn't exist anymore if you're not having to go out for work or you're not able to go out and meet up with friends, go to lunch, brunch, any of that, which we're not able to do at the moment. Yeah, stir crazy, no change in scenery. It can start to wear on you. Another con is the lack of human interaction that you have when working from home. It's weird because for me personally, I am working with customers and with other coworkers all day, every day. We're chatting on Slack and Teams and all sorts of stuff, so I'm interacting with other people. But I don't see these people. I don't get to have a conversation with them in person. And yeah, virtual is great up until a point, but it can't replace the in-person physical human interaction that you see in a traditional in-person job. And again, going back to, I'm an introvert. I don't particularly like communicating with other people when I don't have to, but even still, like, not having any human interaction for days and weeks on end can be a little much. And to go hand in hand with that, the last con that I have is that it is a lot more difficult to make meaningful friendships when you're working from home, because this goes back to the very first point I made. When we don't interact with people, when we don't have coworkers who we get to see and hang out with every day, it's really, really difficult to make those relationships. And yeah, you can feel like you're connected virtually to some of these coworkers, but you've never met them. You don't know what they look like. You don't know really anything about them. And so I've found it's pretty isolating. You can't make friends in the way you used to. And where a job is, like I initially mentioned, a big percentage of our life and a big percentage of where we spend our time every day, that can be really sad if you have instantly no access to friends anymore. So all of this to say, there are pros and cons to both. There are pros to working from home. There are pros to working in person. And my best advice to you would be to try both, see what works for you, and try to find a position that may incorporate aspects of both. Everyone's going to be a little different, and everyone has different preferences and what they are looking for in a job or looking for in life. And so it's really dependent on you and your individual and unique situation. So I would encourage you to try both types of work at some point in your life. See what vibes with you, see what meshes with you and your lifestyle, and make it happen. So that is all for this. I almost said this job. That is all for this video on remote jobs versus in-person jobs. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you are working from home, tell me what you like about it. If you're going to be working from home, I hope this was helpful. All the different ways you can twist that if you're going to be working in person for the first time in a while. I would love to hear what you guys think. Like, what are your preferences? Do you like working from home? Has it been a struggle for you? I really want to know, because for all I know, this could be way out of left field and no one agrees with me. I don't know. So let me know in the comments below how you're feeling, how you're doing with whatever line of work you're in right now. And yeah, stay safe, find what works for you, and pursue happiness in your job, in your life. However you can find that, go for it. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, and feel free to subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys in my next video.